Hey everyone, and welcome back to School for Women. Today's episode is all about friendships, so we're just going to dive right into the friendship topic.
Welcome back everybody. We are so excited to have our second episode of our video format. Today we are talking about friendships, and I think it's something that both of us have been talking about recently for many reasons. Primarily just having difficult friendships, and also with me recently getting into a relationship, it's definitely bringing up different kinds of conversations between us two. So today we really want to focus on female friendships. So having relationships women to women. We will also talk about maintaining relationships with our women friends when they enter a relationship. Let's go ahead and let's dive into that.
So maybe we could take it back to how it was at the beginning. Childhood. How are your female friendships in childhood? Did you have more male friends, female friends? Did you feel very close to them?
I think when I was a child, my sisters were my best friends. So I have 3 sisters, and yeah, they were all like my really close friends. And I had a lot of like neighbors, and so we would all hang out, men and women, like girls and boys. It was pretty normal friendships I had, and then once I started growing older, then I started having more really close girlfriends. And it wasn't until I think I was in high school when I started dealing with the dynamic that everyone deals with, like your best friend getting a boyfriend. I was like in 9th grade, I was 14 when my best friend of many years, like close friends since we were maybe 4th grade. So we were probably like 10. We were like inseparable, we were like sisters, and we would like go everywhere together and like travel and stuff. And then when she got a boyfriend, I remember being like, whoa, like it was kind of like one of those friends that when they get the boyfriend, they just disappear from your life.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
I'm trying to think. I've had friendships where, yeah, I have to just respect that my friend is just with the boyfriend more. Maybe when we do activities together, it's with the boyfriend all the time. I had this one friendship where my friend started dating this guy recently, and I don't think she meant to put me in a situation where I said, oh, it's always like a 3-way thing, me, her, and a boyfriend. It just happened. So I think it is just about communication, that you communicating to your friend, be like, hey, I just want to hang out with you, is that okay? Or saying to the person like, oh, you're hanging out with your boyfriend a lot, like, you know, can you spend time with me? The reason I asked the question of childhood is because I think the younger we are, the more we tend to put our boyfriend relationships first.
So you're saying that it's when you're younger it mostly happens where the girl forgets?
My experience has been like that. It's been when I was younger.
So, like based on what you just said, these kind of dynamics happen when you're younger, but then also you're dealing with this now. I don't think it is age. I think it's common for women to end up in relationships and then put their partner first. Even you and I have dealt with that. So if you guys don't know, we traveled to India together, and this one moment when Gita came with her partner and I met her partner, and it was really cool because it was us 3. Then at some point you guys decided to go up to the north, but there was a moment where you weren't sure because you were having certain issues with him. And then you kind of were like, maybe I'll stay in the south with you traveling. And then one random day you were like, okay, I'm leaving in 2 days. I felt, I think, a bit abandoned, like, whoa, my best friend is leaving me for this guy who, in my opinion at the time, wasn't the best choice for you. And so I felt like, I guess, really upset and sad and hurt by that. And I don't think that this is just because we're young. I think it's common for women to do this.
I think so as well. Yeah, it happens a lot. How did you navigate after that, do you think?
I think it just made me feel differently about our friendship. I think I was really putting you first in our friendship. I was just really thinking, okay, this is my like other half, even though we're not romantic, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like really putting you in that position that I would put a partner, I think. And then after I saw, okay, this is, I think her priority is this relationship with this guy, and it seems like that's how it was gonna go for a while. Then I think I just was like, okay, that I need to focus on my own life And then I went traveling Sri Lanka, and then I went to Thailand, and I just started doing my own things from then on. And I feel like I stopped like putting our friendship at the center of my life. I think as well, because we were in a foreign country, like we were in India, you know, and then being left, like that was like a whole nother thing. And I think India is like a very particular country that like being alone is very different there. And so I think it was all of these dynamics. What do you think we can do in the case, because you've been on both sides of this recently?
Yeah, I really get it. Like, I get it when girls put guys first, and like they're gonna spend the rest of their life with them. So I let like my friend, maybe I watch them and let them do their thing. For example, my friend that I told you happened to me recently, where she was with a guy. I was just happy for her, and there were times where maybe it could have been like a bit, maybe he's not the best person for you, but I just kind of watch and let it ride out. Maybe I'm a bit more like passive, I think, with friends. I try not to really get involved or say my opinion, which can be good and bad. I think it's good in the way the friend feels not judged, and they can tell me whatever they want, and like I'll listen, and I'll be like, oh, that's fine. Like, you say the craziest thing, and I'll be like, oh, that's okay. I'm here for you. But then it's bad in a way where it's like, I'm not very strong centered to be like, oh, this is so wrong. You need to get out.
And have you had friendships where you think like, okay, I should have said?
Not really. I'll say my opinion, and I'll be like, don't take it personally, because I feel like if one of my best friends, like for example, if you or one of my other really close girlfriends said something bad about the person I was dating, I would really take it to heart and really believe them. If I do say it to someone, I'd be like, don't take this personally, like I'm not judging the guy you're with, and then I would say it. And so I'm very wary of that.
How do you think the person that has the boyfriend can navigate the situation better?
I think it's hard. It's very contextual, I think. It depends on the context. For example, your boyfriend's coming here. We're both in a foreign country, so it's very hard to navigate. You're not in your home. I think communication is the best, just to tell the person, like, hey, I want to spend time with my boyfriend, like, can we spend time after? And like knowing that like it's equal, knowing that it's not personal at all. For example, you haven't seen your boyfriend in like months, and you've only spent like a week properly together. So I think it's really important in this context for you to spend like a lot of alone time with your boyfriend. However, for example, when I was in India with you, I spent a lot of time with my partner at the time before. So for me at that time, I felt like maybe it's fine if we're doing things all together, or like I'm doing things just with you, things like that. And I could have navigated that situation a bit better, maybe to create more separation from him and just spend time with you, because I already spent a lot of time with him before. So very contextual. It depends. What about you? How do you think? Like, apart from communication, do you think there's any other ways that we can navigate female friendships?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for saying all of that, what you said. 'Cause it is very difficult, especially because we're kind of in this dynamic now where like I recently got a boyfriend, and like we've never been really friends and traveling together while I had a boyfriend. And yeah, so it's just different. I think with navigating and everything as being the person with the boyfriend, I think it's like being very empathetic for one, and for me knowing that how I felt in that situation in India with you, that I shouldn't do the same thing to you. And that's why that my boyfriend is coming, even though I haven't spent much time with him in person. Like we've only spent 7 days together, and the rest has been long distance. So it's like I am really wanting to have a long time with him and to get to know him like in person. So I am really grateful that, you know, I can take this time alone. I think it's the person that has the boyfriend is more in control. So really just being aware and seeing that I don't know if this relationship is gonna work, you know? And that's how many relationships are, especially at the beginning. Like you don't know. And your friend was your friend for how long? So like, keeping that at the forefront, and I hope that I do. And if I ever do not make you feel bad, then I want you to tell me. Just tell me, like, dude, you know, I need to be your priority, you know?
Yeah. I think it's hard, especially as a traveler, as those podcast episodes are, it's very different dynamic compared to being back at home. Like, back at home, it's like I can just go home. It's,
Yeah.
but because we have no home, it's like we have to share the space together and navigate.
Just go to my room.
Yeah, literally. And so it's like we have to navigate another layer of it because, for example, okay, we're gonna go to a beach town, me, Melissa, and her boyfriend, and we're gonna share a space together. So it's like that's gonna be another layer of them two being together and then me being there on top. And it's crazy because I have nowhere to go, like that is like my home is sharing that space with them. So it might be intense, where maybe they want to be by themselves. And this could happen where I could have spent like 4 days alone or something and they spend every day together. And then on the 5th day, I'm like, I really want to spend time with Melissa. But then maybe she's just like doing her own thing. So it's like, these things can come up in friendships, and especially then another layer of that we're in a different country. And I think communication is really important to navigate these friendships and setting boundaries. I think female friendships are so powerful when we're together, and it is so natural to fall in love with a guy and want to spend so much time with him, I think, because we have so many female friendships but only one guy relationship, so it's very different, and so we do want to spend so much time. Like, for example, in Australia, I was just with one guy for mainly my whole time in Australia, and I enjoyed it at the time. I didn't really have any obligations to other friends, so it was fine. But I get how, like, as women we get sucked in, but I really like your perspective. Melissa's the sort of person that always puts women first in relationships, which is amazing.
You think so?
Yeah, you always put your girls first and then you put guys after.